Shalom and good morning, everybody. Ariel Tzadok here from the KosherTorah School, found online at KosherTorah.com. It's the 14th of February, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed here in a chilly, cold Knoxville morning. But hey, I'm going to talk to you again, as always, about something important. You know, here at our KosherTorah School for, I would say at least the last 20 years, I've tried to fulfill a specific mitzvah, maybe a mission of the Jewish people. And that is, in the words of Isaiah, to be a light to the nations, right? Or la'amim, as it says in the prophet. Well, originally, our school began way back when 1993 as an anti-cult and an anti-missionary outreach program to try to bring back the inner flavor, taste, the spirit of spiritual Judaism. I recognized the wonderful beauty, awe, and amazement in the experiential forms of our Kabbalistic traditions, and I wanted to bring them to the world. That's pretty much what I've done, 27 years now. Hey, time flies when we're having fun. Originally, all my works were very scholarly. They were focused on addressing issues to my fellows in the Jewish community. And we've since expanded beyond that because many other people outside the community were interested and came and joined us. All well and good. But you know, when you bring material out to the world, a lot of confusion arises. Now, one of the things that I am teaching on our live Facebook classes for the public, something I'm calling Judaism for Gentiles, where in which I'm going to try to deal with these confusing issues, address issues about Yeshu, Christianity, and try to, as we say in Hebrew, hamavdil ben kodesh v'chol, separate between that which is sacred and profane. So right now I want to start with what for some is a controversial topic, and that is, Ezehu Yehudi. Who is a Jew? What exactly is a Jew today? Okay, let's define that as this. A Jew is someone who is of Jewish heritage, Jewish parentage, meaning from a Jewish mother, not just a Jewish father, and or someone who has converted to the Jewish faith in accordance to Orthodox Torah ways. Now, I know I might have just angered some of you, but I'm going to be very blunt here. If you are not accepting of the basic foundations of what the Torah says, go read the Bible, Torah from Mount Sinai, given from God, etc., and so on. If you challenge these fundamental beliefs, you can do whatever you want as an individual, as long as your behavior is decent and moral. I'll still respect you. All right, I'll still shake your hand if you're a man, not a woman. And of course, embrace you, respect you, and all the like. But I will not accept you as a Jew. So we have today all types of movements today. You have the Reform, you have the Conservative, and you have these so-called, these people aren't even Jewish, the Messianics, all right, believe in Yeshu. These groups espouse ideas and beliefs which are not in alignment with the original foundational teachings of our Torah that have been passed down through the centuries. Now, you can argue and say, well, there have always been objectionable groups. There's been Sadducees and Essenes and Karaites. You know what? There are always everything. I'm not looking at the fringes. I'm looking at the focus in the center. Today, a Jew is defined pretty much as one who is, again, of Jewish lineage or who is following the religion of Judaism. Judaism, I think it's a good bet that we could look towards the 13 principles of Maimonides. Controversial in their day, books have been written about that. That's all water under the bridge. We're dealing with the here and now, not in the past, not in the fringes. So, if you want to be accepted as a Jew, all right, granted, if your bloodline's Jewish, you're Jewish. Look today to the modern state of Israel. You have a lot of people today who are Israeli who are not Jewish. They're accepted as citizens of the state, and rightly so. They serve in the army, etc., and so on. But they are not Jewish. Many secular Israelis, if you ask if they're Jewish, will say they're of Jewish heritage rather than calling themselves Jewish. Many Israelis are actually anti-religious and anti-Jewish. Strange thing, but true. Okay, so let it be. To be a Jew today, please understand, at one time, as the Bible said, we were all members of the same family, children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That was, 3,500 years ago, a long time ago. Today, the bloodlines are all over the place. We don't know today who was a bloodline descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Call it an Israelite, because Jew, as we know, comes from Judea, and that they're the exiles of Judea from Second Temple times. So, who today is an bloodline Israelite? Who knows? So this is why we have a different definition. Okay, to call Jews today a race is really historically inaccurate. We have people today who have tested DNA out of the heart of Africa. Well, they're clearly bloodline, even though they might not be practicing Judaism. You have people who are, again, white Jews from Eastern Europe. Those are the predominant Jews today. Jews were not originally Caucasian. Not at all. Not white-skinned at all. Original Jews were very dark-skinned, Mediterranean appearance. So there's adulterations along the way. We have Chinese Jews and Indian Jews, Ethiopian Jews, and the like. If we are a race, we're the only multiracial race that's out there. I think that's pretty good. So no, I don't consider Judaism a race today. It is a faith. And that faith is what you're willing to accept and believe. So who is a Jew has to be different from who is practicing Judaism. So again, practicing Judaism has to be in accordance to what we call in Hebrew the Masorah, the connection to the chain. You cannot just innovate and create your own form and branch of Judaism and still be considered and accepted as legitimate and authoritative as practicing Judaism. And your parentage might be Jewish, which means technically you are a Jew, but you're not practicing Judaism. These Messianic Jews who believe that Yeshu is God, I'm sorry, that's not practicing Judaism. For these Reform and Conservative who outright will violate halakha and embrace ideas and concepts, philosophies, all the more so practices, which violate our Mesorah, I'm sorry, you're not practicing authentic Judaism. Don't you dare accuse me of hatred or anything of the kind, because I'm not talking about individuals. We respect all individuals. I'll embrace all individuals. If you are one of these Messianic or a conservative or a reform, and you have all the ideas that you do, well, as an individual human being, I will respect you. I will embrace you. I'll try to even be your friend. I will definitely not agree with you, and I will not include you in my minyan, because my minyan, which is the quorum of 10 men required for Jewish prayer, has a certain criteria according to law of who is acceptable. Let me address one issue, which is very important. Recently I had this conversation with someone who asked, which is better? You're living isolated from a Jewish community, and it is the Sabbath. Is it better to drive your car to the synagogue on the Sabbath in order to have, a Jewish experience with the synagogue, or is it better to be alone? Well, I remind them that driving a car on the Sabbath, for almost every opinion in Torah Judaism, is a prohibition. It's forbidden. So, to think that going to the synagogue and to being with other Jews in prayer is better, having that more than violating the law of driving, right? In other words, people say, it's better to drive and violate that law and be with people. I'm sorry, that's wrong. If a person publicly violates the Sabbath, a Jewish individual publicly violates the Sabbath, he is disqualified from being part of the Jewish minyan. It's the rules. That's the way it is. So if you drive to synagogue, can't count you in the minyan. Well, if I'm too far away, what do I do? Well, I guess you're going to pray alone, or you're going to move into a community. I've lived here in our Tennessee community for a very long time. I've been a rabbi for over 30 years. I know what to do and how to do it and interact. But for everybody, can't walk that life. I get it. It's much better that people be part of an Orthodox Jewish community, living in accordance to Torah and mitzvot. No, you do not have to go in the ways of the extremists. There is that center line. Learn halakha, because that is the most important part of our Jewish and our Torah traditions. Enliven that halakha with the study of the Kabbalah, because that is its soul within the body. Halakha is the body, Kabbalah is the soul. You put the two together and you have life. This is the way it is. You cannot convert by yourself. If you want to convert, you have to go through the appropriate, bona fide, authoritative sources and become part of the greater Jewish community. That's what it's all about. Who is a Jew? One who is part of the Jewish community in accordance to halakha. Everyone else, okay, we're not bringing God into this, spirituality or heaven and hell, the future, or anything. We're talking about the here and the now. I'm Ariel Tzadok of the KosherTorah School. My job, I'm trying to shine a light to the nations and at the same time shine a light to Israel. Okay? I'm here for you. You're welcome. Join us. See what I have to offer you if it's of any value to you. But again, don't expect from me anything that's going to violate the Torah and the halakha, because you're not going to get that out of me. Okay? We're here to teach you what's right, and you might not like it, but that's not going to change what's right. Ariel Tzadok here again. I'll see you all soon. KosherTorah.com.